Hey folks, it's Brian. We had to play Elderath last night, session 37. Um, there's from my last video, I believe, at least from my last set of notes, there seems to be a piece missing on things because we were granted the villa and we spent time figuring out, how much it would cost to actually get things up and running and fix all this stuff and all that kind of thing. But I had some computer issues yesterday, so I was doing a reboot, which took pretty long. My laptop's getting old, the battery's starting to swell, and yeah, I may have to get a new one. I don't know. Well, it's still working, right? In fact, I've got a second laptop that I use, and this is off topic, sorry guys, that I bought for school back in 2009, I think it was. An old Dell 17-incher, right? Because I want to watch movies and things, and it is still running, and I use it to host my online game. But anyway, back to Elderath. So at the village, there's other stuff going on. There's kind of a smear of time going on where we're narrating. We're going into town doing stuff. Making supply runs. Runs is doing things at the temple to try and pay back for his leg healing, and Wes is going into town trying to coordinate with the Wizards Guild or the Mages Guild or whatever it's called to see what involves becoming a member and responsibilities and benefits and that kind of thing, because there are a couple of spell lists that he's looking to try and learn. And he also wants to wander around on occasion by the temple district to see if he might bump into a certain Captain Krim. But anyway, so there's that kind of talking going on. And Runt does overhear something when he's out working at the temple where he heard Heta talking with the priestess. And so he moves around to the front of the temple area so that when Heta leaves, she'll have to go by him and go, "Oh, Heta, I didn't know you were here," that kind of stuff. And he kind of, there's a little back and forth with them, and he kind of offers up that there may be opportunities for her to work, I guess, for us. I'm not sure about that piece, but anyway, she thinks that might be an idea, something to do. Then live plays in the description. If you're into that kind of thing. We'll go into more discussions on the maintenance and upkeep and how much money do we actually have, where did this money come from, and how much we're putting into the villa right now, because we've got to do a down payment kind of thing to get the guys to come out and do construction. And as we're discussing this, we start discussing again that north of us is this. Yeah, interesting. Oh, we also bring up the fact that Wes has never had to worry about money before, and all of a sudden he doesn't have any. So he's stressing on stuff he's never had to worry about before. But north of us is this inn. It's called the Old Crown Coach. It's like where the excess alcohol stuff doesn't go to cars. They go there to sell. It's kind of a hub kind of thing. Most of the locals there, the old Norse stock, not the Northern Kingdom's folks like moi. There is a votive of the sea goddess there related to the temple and Kars. But the inn itself is Northern Kingdom's architecture. So there's that. At one point they came here, built up, and then they were gone, and so the locals came in. And there's some discussion about, okay, what territory does the Baron claim? What does he own? That kind of stuff. And it's about 2 days ride out is what he claims as his territory. Although from what we've seen, the number of soldiers he has, he doesn't have enough to defend the town and maintain any kind of patrols that far out. So again, more time goes by. Captain Krim comes by. Both Runt and Wes are actually in town when this happens. One of the construction workers meets her and brings her, runs out and gets Alexander Raymond and bring them back, and they're kind of some, small talk, shop talk kind of stuff until um, Wes and Runt show up. And then she's talking about how some of the military folks that they have access to, some have been sent out to the mine to guard the mine. It actually opened it up, so it's actually producing now too. And because of that, there's not a lot of folks available to pursue the recovery of the heirlooms. When the GM said heirlooms, all of us, although we didn't, it wasn't obvious at that, but all of us going, heirlooms? What heirlooms? What are you talking about? And Raymond's kind of um, stalling, trying to figure out what is it she's talking about. But turns out she's talking about the treasure that the old man, the lady, and the child offered up to us for rescuing them from the mine. Because they've been talking to the old man. Apparently, there's like a laundry list of what's in this hoard of stuff, right? And so she was asked if she couldn't get us to go out and get it. There was some discussion on cuts and who gets what, but I didn't quite catch all that. She does stay. In fact, she brought food, wine, bread and cheese, like she had a plan or something. But eventually, so we have dinner that night, and there's more discussion on things going on. And there's some discussion about actual geography in the area. I didn't quite capture all that because I'm taking notes, right? So as I'm typing stuff out, I'm not always hearing what's going on. But there's this mountain range that curves to the north and to the west, which butts into another mountain range that divides Forg's kingdom from the rest of us. There's a village to the north. It's on the sound side of that peninsula. There's villages in the Jarls further north, but not to the west or the northwest, where we're kind of going. And the village that we're discussing, where the guys hid his treasure, is past the mines to the west. It's on the east side of the mountain range that leads to Forest Kingdom. So we've got all this direction stuff, but I am completely lost on where this really is. I have no idea because we went east to get to the mine, and we know that from north from there is where the village was. But yeah, anyway. So there's a scroll from the old man to give us directions to the remains of the estate where he was. It's about a week's travel away. And then there's some more discussion from Captain Krim to us, just in general. You're not from here. You don't know these things. Blah 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 blah. Right. So about 2 days out from Kars, the Baron didn't have a whole lot of control, and so we should be careful. And we don't know what happened to the village, what destroyed it. Don't know if there might be a new Jarl or people fighting over it. The Jarls in general don't get along with the Baron. There are ancient fortifications out there from when Forg's forces occupied the area. There are spirits out there in those places. I know there's some discussion about the Draugr, the white kind of people. The cursed folk. They're cursed for having supported Forg in his demise. There are villages of those people, creatures out there. In general, there's two sets of folks here in the area, two cultural groups. Those from the north who came with the Bloodstone folks, and then the locals. As locals who became under the control of Forg, or his influence, that became the Drugar, the cursed. Wes does mention that he stays out to watch the fire, make sure it goes out, that kind of thing. After everybody else goes to bed, hoping somebody might visit with him. Okay. So it is now summer, which is, where did that month go? month 4. Shoot, I forgot what it was called, but it's the 4th month, which is summer here, and we're now on week 3, day 1, when we actually take off. We're having Tindo, who is a player who ran this stuff and has been able to play with us for several sessions. So his character is staying at the estate to keep an eye on things, and also to help maintain the incubator, keep it warm. So we head out towards the inn. At the inn, we purchase supplies, continue on our way. At dark, we make camp, about 100 feet off the road. We bank our fire. We set watches, and then during Runt's watch, which was actually early morning, there are riders, 4 riders. They're not, they're on horses, but they're walking, they're not like riding, right? The next day, somebody spots some dwindling smoke. We go and investigate. Well, we don't. We send Runt to go investigate. And it's a camp that somebody had made that's now, no longer occupied. Runt figures out that these are the guys that were traveling that night. Like, they're following us, and as I understood, they're going the direction. They're coming south, but no, they're going north. They were following us. And so they took off in the morning, so we're now behind them instead of in the front. And now, continue on down the road. We do notice, a couple of us notice movement in the bushes and stuff. So Wes saw making an ambush. So he dives off to the left of the road, into the brush. Raymond sees that and does the same. Alexander, who saw the movement, draws his bow, and Runt missed his not spot hidden, his scan skill roll. So he's looking around, all confused with what's going on when the arrows fly. So Runt took a couple. I think Alexander took a couple. Nobody's really hurt badly yet, but as the fight goes on, Alexander does get an impale into one of the guy's chest. Did massive damage. He's got a special bow now, a war bow, right? Gets to use his strength bonus kind of deal, and right in the chest, puts him out. Wes is able to do his hold kind, is the spell, hold pursuit kind of thing. So the guy's reduced to 25% of his actions. So instead of firing twice per round, he can only fire once every other round. Instead of moving 8, he moves 2, that kind of stuff. So, can't do a whole lot. I would also say that his dodge skill should be reduced to 25% of what it really is. Reduced by a fourth, to a fourth. There you go. But that never actually came out. But anyway, Alexander's still shooting his bow. Runt gets finally nailed in the head and goes down. So Raymond runs off and is doing first aid and healing on Runt. The guy that Wes was holding is the one that Alexander killed, so he drops that and he starts casting sleep. First time everyone makes their save, nothing happens. But at that point, 2 of the guys are taken off, and so we're at range issues now. And so at that point, there's only one still in range. One steely-eyed guy's going to stay and shoot at us. So do a sleep on him, and that actually worked. And there's a little bit of confusion where Alexander's shooting, and it sounded to me like Alexander was shooting one of the guys running away, but the GM had him shooting the guy that Wes did the sleep spell on him. So it's like, you fall asleep, you take damage, you're going to wake up. But it's 2 rounds of magical sleep. You just normally wake up after that. But anyway, so since I know it's only 2 rounds, the guy collapses. Wes runs up there, waiting for him to come to. When he comes to, he's going to do charm something or other on the guy, which, he views me as his friend kind of thing, because I'm trying to get some information out of him. Because and Wes asks, "Where's Jerry? What happened? Where'd you go?" And he goes, "We're talking about right there. They're dead." No, the guys you were chasing. How'd you get stuck with this detail? And detail, we saw them. They got cool stuff. We wanted to take it. Okay, so it's not a plan thing. It's just an opportunity deal. So we can't sleep on him again. He goes down, tie him up, and Then there's some discussion. Okay, what do we do next? Runt starts going around stripping the two dead guys. There's two dead guys? No, they did. One of the guys running away, they did actually get, and he went down. So one guy got away, assuming with all the horses. Wes runs back to the road, figuring that the guy will come back to the road heading towards the inn, but he's looking south to never see anything. Runt, like I said, stripping down the dead bodies. And Wes is thinking, we should, interrogate this guy, find out where they're from, because it would be a lot easier to travel if we had those horses. But let's see, anything else? Nope, 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 nope. And that's kind of where we end the session, so the players can think about, okay, what do we want to do next, kind of deal. Do we want to pursue this or just let it go? Wes is merciful, so he doesn't want to just torture the guy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Happy gaming. Oop, there's my mouse.